What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the GoodeBaker podcast. I'm Nick Baker. Across from me, Shane Good.
Let's fucking kill this
And
bitch.
we are here to talk to you about some video games. And yeah, let's kill some bitches today. We don't have any ads to worry about, so we can just say
it's
whatever
true.
the fuck we want at the beginning of shit. But yeah, thanks for supporting us. Going forward, we're really
Not
trying
killing
to grow.
bitches.
We're not killing bitches.
No,
we're
no,
just
no.
trying to grow our channel. And this is the best way we know how, by just slurring vulgarities out at you at the beginning of it. But I just wanted to put this at the beginning. Go like, subscribe, comment on all our stuff. Give us some good ideas and stuff to go forward with in the future, because, man, I can't wait to collaborate with more people. We're getting shout outs from our friend on Twitch. Do you remember his name? You have his name off the top of your head?
Yeah, I do. I do have his name off the top of my head. It's Twitch Daniel 188187.
Fuck yeah, Twitch Daniel. You're killing it for us, shouting us out on your Instagram and your streams. Love you, buddy. Keep that up, and we'll keep, doing our thing over here. Our small thing. But yeah, anyway, let's get into the show. What have we been playing this week?
So I've jumped back into the depression station. I've been playing League of Legends pretty. I wouldn't say hard. I haven't really stepped back into ranked. I told myself that I would probably stay away from ranked and just kind of play casual. And now I'm back in that high plat, low diamond elo in casual games, and I'm like, wow. I remember why I fucking hated this game.
It's like, man, I hate myself so much. Let's keep doing it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh man.
I had one day where it really doesn't take long to get there as long as you play very well consistently. I had an entire day and a half where I was playing consistently and didn't lose a single match. I had a 13 win streak or something like that. And then I got matched. The game tries to break you. Legitimately. I got matched with almost all silvers and a bronze on my team, and then we were going against almost all plats and a diamond, and of course the mid laner happened to be the diamond player. Mid lane is one of the more influential lanes, so a player that really knows how to manipulate mid lane can really influence the side lanes very well.
Right.
And I couldn't carry the game for the life of me. That dude just ran over my bottom lane. My bottom lane went 0-7, both of them. And it's a dual lane, so if bottom lane feeds, you're not feeding 7 kills, you're feeding 14 most likely.
Oof.
So yeah, it was.
It's a shit show in there, huh? In the League of Legends.
Fucking
world.
League of Legends. But hey, what have you been playing,
dude?
Man?
I've got a problem.
Uh-oh.
I've been playing so many things, and the thing is I go back into my backlog. I'm like, oh god, there's so many games here, and I'm trying to tackle a bunch of them at a time, and I get off of one because I get frustrated or bored or whatever with that, moving on to another, here, this, that, and the other. So I go back to The Witcher 3 when I feel like that. And I've been playing The Witcher 3, and I'm getting incrementally further in the really big DLC that I didn't realize was so big.
Another game.
Yeah, Blood and Wine is a literal another campaign to that game, and slight spoilers, major spoilers for that if you haven't played it coming up. But that world that they create with that Blood and Wine DLC pack is just this fairy tale craziness. At one point, here come the spoilers, you go into this fairy tale storybook, because it's a prison for one of the characters. You have to go save her in order to move on with the storyline. But in that world, there are callbacks and little Easter eggs of characters from all kinds of different fairy tales. You got the Wizard of Oz in there. You got Jack and the Beanstalk. You got Three Little Pigs.
Damn.
Little Red Riding Hood. All of them, and they're all pieced together in a really cool woven story within the characters within the book understand that they're storybook characters, so they're playing out their everyday lives in those storybooks, and some of them have gotten fed up, so they've stopped doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you'll just find at one point you find the big bad wolf, and he has eaten the grandmother so many times that he's now become the grandmother, and he's just sitting out front of the house. And he has now, I think, killed the hunter, because the hunter's supposed to kill the wolf, whatever. He killed the hunter, and now is just chilling out. And you walk up to him, and he's got like a horrible hangover from something he had just eaten or something like that. And it's hilarious, the things that they throw in there. And Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk's this little swindler that you have to get the beans out of him to get up to the giant to fight to get out. It's quite enthralling, and honestly, I can't wait to get back and finally put the nail in the coffin in The Witcher 3 so that I can move on to Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Which is another game that I've been off and on playing while Shay's been on the PS4. I've been taking the Switch and playing Fire Emblem. Really enjoying it again, getting back into it, understanding the mechanics of the tactical combat, understanding the relationship aspects with characters and how that builds in combat.
Yeah.
That game really does a lot of great things for, strategy games in that way. And honestly, it does a great thing for like anime-driven strategy games, because a lot of those you can kind of put by the wayside. It's like, the art style, it's probably going to be like big boob girls or whatever.
Big boob girls.
But Fire Emblem's so grounded in its own lore that it's really refreshing to get in there. And like, I mean, granted, there are going to be some fan servicey characters here and there, but it's really a story about you being a teacher, and you're gathering these children and you're teaching these kids, and you're not much older than these kids, so there's like relationship aspects and like a time skip later in the game.
Yeah.
But it really feels like you're imparting something upon each character because of the interactions that you get with each character in certain parts. You'll have these little side dialogue sessions where you'll talk with just you and a character, or you and two other characters, and you can go and do these social aspect things. It's a lot like Persona in that way. So I really dig that. And the final thing that I'll mention that I've been playing is Endgame in the Division, getting ready for Warlords in New York. Still great, awesome, getting some great drops, having a lot of fun with that. Cover-based shooting I don't think has ever really been better in a game. I can't think of another game outside of maybe Gears that does it.
I mean, especially like not solely NPC driven, but like a large NPC, not PvP specifically.
The thing that's great about the Division in particular is the AI is so aggressive. It's so aggressive. It's hard. Like, some parts of the game are legitimately hard because the AI will strategize around you, come around a certain way, they'll try to flank you, and if you're not on your A game, they're gonna get you. And like, there's gonna be a guy with a sledgehammer that just comes up and plows you in the back of the head, and you have no idea, and you're like, oh fuck. And your radar is like completely red at this point. They're all around you. And I play solo most of the time, so I have my turret and a drone, and if they get taken out, I'm the only target, and you're wasted in late game stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
That's pretty dope.
But on to bigger and better things. Big topics of the week. We'll start with a lot of sad news, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's a lot of sad news, but we'll get better as we go. I've kind of planned it out that way. So GDC was postponed until later in the year due to concerns with coronavirus spreading. This comes from Chris Pereira at GameSpot. This quote: "Although the event hasn't been canceled less than 3 weeks before it's scheduled to begin, GDC 2020 has officially been postponed and will now take place later in the summer. A more specific date has not been revealed." So,
I mean, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
It's like delaying a video game. We're going to get all the people that originally were supposed to be there when it comes through. So, like, it will be better, but we have to wait longer.
I think that it also has the opportunity for there to be more there, because there's not like a ton that's been released by Nintendo for their year. There hasn't been like a super lot said about any of the next gen titles or anything like that. There's like a few pieces here and there that have been pieced together. So I assume by the time Game Developers Conference actually comes around, there's going to be a lot more to talk about. They're going to have more people to actually come there, and everybody's going to be healthy. It's going to be good, and I think it's all a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the long run, I think everybody will look back and be like, "Is that a bird in here?"
I'm pretty sure there's a bird in my house.
There's literally chirping coming from behind me.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, welcome the bird to the podcast.
Yeah. So
Mr. Bird might be participating
now
for a little
introducing from behind me, Bird. But yeah, so I don't think it's really a bad thing that it's postponed. I don't think anything truly like groundbreaking has ever really come out of GDC to my knowledge. So it is what it is.
I mean, honestly, in the grand scheme, I guess GDC is probably going to be a lot of everybody just grabbing for more information on like Last of Us 2, the like specifics on the PlayStation and the Xbox consoles and stuff like that. But I mean, in that in mind, the other sad news.
Oh yeah, so we were what was this next one? We had the coronavirus is actually slowing down production of computer parts in all the world, but mostly, obviously, the Asian part of the market. It's hitting it hard. It's really taking down production times. So our question is this going to delay console launch dates at all?
I mean, definitely possible.
It's entirely possible. The thing about it is have they kind of been panicking since the beginning of this outbreak and have been kind of putting contingency plans into place? So
I don't know if you like how much you know about it, but there's the Chinese New Year's actually just happened not too long ago.
It's like February 20 something.
It's somewheres in there, but for that
we have the internet.
We do have the internet. For that 2 weeks, a lot of factories actually shut down in China. So like for that 2 week period, a lot of factories shut down. The workers go home, and unfortunately, that coronavirus hit right as like people were kind of starting to come back, and a lot of people haven't been cleared like to come back to work and to work in the factories and stuff like that. So a lot of like from what I understand, a lot of transportation, like people that drive trucks in China and people that like actually transport goods are basically not able to go back to work right now. So because of that, it's making specifically the PCP boards are the factories that make the PCP boards have just no stock at all, which was going to affect the SSD, which, for the record, welcome consoles to SSD. I think it was like 2009, 2010.
And now we have to wait for it.
But now you have to wait.
But so the Chinese New Year is technically January 25th.
Okay, so we put a month off on that one.
That's all right.
But that's when the coronavirus, like, it hit right in between, like, it was like somewheres in late February, early February. Right. So that makes sense time-wise.
It does. So, yeah, that kind of sucks in a lot of ways. But I think that if we have to wait a little bit for consoles in order for people to get back to good,
Yeah.
All for the better of humanity, right?
Honestly. And, I mean, good news is very soon it will be hot in Asia, and it will be hot in a lot of places that the virus has been kind of like thriving in because the temperatures have been very good for it. Viruses generally thrive really well, and like I think it's like 38 to like 55 degrees or something like that, and they fall off really hard after like 70 degrees.
Damn, we're getting really scientific here. What do you think, Bird?
Oh,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it left.
Yeah, it's gone now. So, sad news continues this week. So, the creator of the Konami code, Kazuhisa Hashimoto, hope I didn't butcher that, died on February 25th.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, man, it's a legendary cheat code that will live on forever in the memories of everybody that played like early games like Contra and all those games that used that code afterwards. I can't even think of all of the ones that I think there was even a version of it in GTA where it used X and circle. It was up, down, left, right. circle X start or something like that.
I wonder. It does make me kind of wonder. Will video game companies that haven't had cheat codes in a long time?
Will throw one in there?
Will they throw one? Will they throw one in there just to honor them?
I think that there are going to be a lot of creators that maybe looked up to this guy that are maybe going to put like a little Easter egg in here, or there were a lot of creators even on Twitter that like Cory Barlog, the director of God of War. Did you play God of War by the way? I was thinking that the other day.
I didn't. It was PS4 exclusive. Good. It was a good game. Mm-hmm. I watched a lot of reviews on it. I know like the storyline. I didn't personally play it.
Right. But yeah, anyway, he's got a lot of clout, obviously, and he's pretty torn up about it. He obviously was one of those guys that grew up with those 80s games, Contra and stuff, so he
exactly.
Probably used that code millions of times.
Yo.
But sad news to hear about that, and our thoughts go out to his family and anybody that loved that man, because we love cheat codes, man. I miss cheat codes. Cheat codes, you have to pay for them now. It sucks.
They're called microtransactions.
But now is where the good news starts, because this week we got some new footage or actual footage of Baldur's Gate 3 revealed at PAX East. So that's pretty dope. And have you seen any of this?
So I have not. I have not seen any of the Baldur's Gate stuff.
Let me describe it a little bit, because I've seen maybe like a couple minutes of the footage. So it's a lot like Divinity Original Sin 2.
Okay.
That's the main comparison a lot of people are drawing to it.
I have played that.
Which makes a lot of sense, because Divinity derives a lot of their stuff from Baldur's Gate originally.
Yep.
But in a lot of ways they are evolving on the formula, and the actual graphical fidelity of everything is far beyond that of a Divinity game, where the top-down look of a Divinity game is gorgeous, no questions about it, but I think that they're just the sheer amount of things that they're able to fit on screen, that all moving, everything looks grim, wet, or whatever it needs to be in this universe. That was one of the things that when they first showed off a little bit of the footage of Baldur's Gate, I was really impressed with how it looked compared to not only 2, but compared to the Divinity Original Sin. I was like, all right, wow, they're really going for it this time.
They got some budget.
Yeah. So the parts that I saw, it shows you and one of your companions. One of the reports that I saw says that there are only going to be up to 4 or 5 companions that you can recruit in the game. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but that does sound low to me.
Yeah, that does sound pretty low.
But the game looks and plays exactly like you would expect. Very core D&D groundwork laid. You're rolling for initiative when you get into fights. You have the turn-based combat, all the elevational boosts and whatnot. It really just comes down to the polish with this. It looks like it's going to be from start to finish, a very well put together, polished experience, so that there's really just no edges to shave off. And I think that that's why it took such a long time to develop and get into the hands of people now. So I'm excited for it. I really only dabbled with Baldur's Gate before, because I just enjoyed playing actual D&D more, using my imagination. Always felt better to me. But now with it really coming forth and really getting that graphical overhaul that it desperately needed, kind of bringing the camera in, showing you more of the details of the environments that you're actually inhabiting, I think it's really going to blow up, and Baldur's Gate's going to be a thing that everybody talks about, not just the hardcore D&D fans.
That'd be pretty cool, especially because like D&D as a whole. I mean, we don't really cover board games a ton.
No.
But D&D as a whole in the past like 3 years really just kind of like had a retake off. Like everybody just started playing D&D out of nowheres.
I think the big deal was that Critical Role.
Oh yeah,
Critical Role really brought it back. It started bringing on like celebrities and stuff like that, and it's the same type of content that like the Hot Ones.
Yep.
At First We Feast, that YouTube channel. Oh God, man, if we could collaborate, that'd be great. But the Pie in the Sky Dreams right now. But it's the same type of idea of like just getting these popular names and bringing them on, and that elevates the content, and you see how much fun like your idols have doing the things that you're doing already. Like, exactly. You see that Henry Cavill's a huge D&D fan, a huge Witcher fan. Obviously, he plays Geralt. It's like he's a big movie star. You're like, oh wow, that's really cool that he's into that, the same stuff I'm into, and that immediately creates a connection. And I think that because of things like Critical Role, it's just elevated D&D to a whole new echelon now of pop culture, and bringing it back to not only the stream but the mainstream, and everybody's into it now.
It's definitely pretty cool. I'm pretty excited for the Baldur's Gate game. I will say there's definitely a bigger project or a bigger team working on this one. It took them 7 years. I don't know if you know when the other one, Baldur's Gate 2, released, 2013.
Right, and then Baldur's Gate 1 was like early 2000s.
It was 99.
Was it 99? Yeah,
They've made a few iterations, but yeah, it was...
Yeah, there's a lot of development time that goes into this. And
it was 98, sorry.
Rightfully so, because honestly, these games are so deep. There's so many storylines. It's like old school Fallout RPG style where you can just go spiraling down, like reading through these messages or computer logs or whatever, and finding out things about characters that you never would have ever seen if you didn't scratch beneath the surface.
Definitely a game that will take a long time to master. I can't wait for them to figure out how to hack multiplayer into it, if it doesn't already have multiplayer.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing to learn. I'm not 100% on that, and I will go back and watch the footage. There's like 2 hours of stuff out there. At least that's what press got to see. So I don't know what's actually out there as far as footage, but I'm sure that there's more than just what I saw. So
yeah,
and there's got to be people talking about it. So
for sure.
Anyway, moving on from that, there's a stranger thing in the mix. Platinum Games, creators of oh god, wow. Yeah, this is the
brain dead.
No, the damn it. Oh. It's gonna bother me. No, it's the Devil May Cry like knockoff with the girl with the heels.
Devil May Cry
Bayonetta.
Oh,
creators Bayonetta.
I would never have gotten that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just completely had a brain fart. But yeah, the creators of Bayonetta series, they recently did that anime style action game where you're like this police officer that I can't really describe. But anyway, this game looks pretty sweet. They announced what they're calling Project GG. Project GG Agogo is in the trailer.
Okay.
So it's very Japanese.
Very Japanese.
With a teaser trailer showing off some sort of like superhero robot fighting off kaiju, and all while he's protecting a corgi from getting crushed by a building.
This is
everything a Japanese game fan.
It's missing
wants.
A Gundam.
There's the giant robots, kaiju.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
No beam swords yet. But,
no beam swords.
But as soon as I see a beam sword, I'm sold. It's over. But yeah, it's so interesting because I used to love the old Godzilla games where you could just fight Godzillas, destroy cities and whatnot. And there was this Dreams creation that I saw that's just this monster that's running around destroying cities. And I'm like, man, they don't really make games like that, like big fighters anymore, where you're like fighting through giant areas and destroying everything, and that's kind of a main crux of the game. So if they kind of take that direction with this, or maybe if it's just like an action game where you're this literal superhero protecting a city from kaiju, hell yeah, man. I'm so pumped, and that's why I put it on here. It's not necessarily like big budget news here, but and the trailer is very short. It's like maybe a minute. So
I mean,
there's not a ton to get hyped about unless you're into like Godzilla kaiju movies, but there's something there.
Or if you're into dogs, I mean.
Oh yeah, if you love corgis, man, this is a really well rendered corgi. Like
they probably just put a suit on
really
a
cute.
corgi and was
its little leash is tucked. It's stuck underneath some rubble, and it's trying to get away. And it's like, oh no! And it sees the building falling. You're like, oh fuck! And then all of a sudden, this real Japanese superhero comes out. And it's like. And he clicks something on his wrist or something, and he grows into this giant robot. I gotta show it to you after.
Fair enough. It sounds very entertaining.
But keeping with the Japanese style, well, I mean, it's very Western meets Japanese. New Samurai Jack video game was announced to be coming out with a really cool, very faithful art style.
Okay.
And it's coming out this summer.
I did love that art style.
Yeah.
I did love Samurai Jack as well.
It's 3D environments, but it's done in such a way that everything looks like the art from the game. Even like from any angle, you kind of get that image of it's sort of cel shaded in that way that it almost looks 2D, but it's not.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks great.
Have you seen Samurai Jack?
Yeah, I've seen Samurai Jack. I love Samurai Jack. I haven't seen all of it.
Oh, so Professor X?
Professor X?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
In Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah. The possibilities that Samurai Jack is actually Professor X.
Yeah, he does look a lot like him, doesn't he?
He looks a lot like him. He goes to a city that literally is the same city because it's confirmed that Powerpuff Girls and Samurai Jack are actually in the same world. And Samurai Jack travels through so many time periods that it's possible that the professor made a time travel like unit, and that is Professor X. It's never been confirmed, but there's so many theories about it.
So I'm thinking we need to do a Samurai Jack in review eventually.
I mean, it'd be real. I would do it. I'd do it all day.
Yeah, man, that'd be really fun. I've been kind of rolling things around, thinking of other content that we could do. That sounds really fun. Anyway,
it does.
So Samurai Jack video game out of the way. This one is solely for you. I saw this and thought, all right. League of Legends developer Riot Games is they're working on a secret project that hasn't really been fully announced. They kind of just have had inklings about it. So seemingly a screenshot has leaked from that project, and I didn't grab the name here because it actually has the name of the game, or quote unquote the name of the game in the corner there, but the leak shows like a loadout screen with a few characters you can choose from. It has kind of gives you an idea of what the art direction is going to be. So it's supposed to be a first person shooter.
Yes.
So if you're searching, throw that in there. And yeah, a first person shooter from Riot Games. If they keep that sort of League of Legends formula, what's that doing for you? Is that maybe a better twist on that MOBA kind of idea where you're actually moving forward rather than the top-down view, or is that something that might be...
So that's already been done by I believe their name is Pandemic. I forget who it actually is. There is a kind of like a legitimate first-person shooter MOBA already out there. It's either Pandemic or Paragons or something like that.
Well, I mean, isn't Overwatch sort of similar in that way, where it's you have like character driven powers, and you have to create or complete objectives and stuff like that. It's similar in idea, not in scope, I guess.
Yeah. They're just referring to it as Project A, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I have here, but the actual screenshot had.
I don't have the
Valario or something. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I don't know if it's going to be more MOBA or if they're trying to step out of the MOBA range. A while back, there were rumors of them making or fiddling around with the idea of also making an RPG. And nothing really ever came to light with it. So I'm not sure if they might even have RPG elements in this shooter, or if it's going to be
It's very apparent that might be the case. Just based on the screenshot that they show. I'm looking here. It was on IGN that I found it.
Yo.
They got some sleuths over there at IGN, man. They've been coming up with some good scoops.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you've got connections, it works out well, dude. Yeah, if anybody wants to be our connection, you let us know.
Valorant, the game, yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you got connects, hit us up. You 18 guys out there. Or gals.
Yes.
So this is the screenshot of Valorant, the game, and so we have some characters on the side here. It seems like this is like your squad or your team that you've lined up with.
I definitely don't know any of those.
These are all your abilities that you're able to do. So that's kind of the RPG-ish.
Yeah, this actually definitely looks like a almost like an RPG select screen where you'd pick your character.
Yeah. So the aesthetic looks great. I think that the art looks really enticing. It seems like very Apexy.
Yeah.
Like in that way, like I can see these characters being put straight into Apex.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, to kind of wrap things through with Riot as well, they've been very. I wouldn't say they've been super good because Rito always has their issues. We call them Rito games, by the way. They have their issues, but they also 2 days ago they put out a devlog for what they want League of Legends to become this year, and they really laid down everything that the community of League of Legends has actually been asking for about 2 years now. They laid down better matchmaking. They laid down better. Obviously you don't know too much about like the way that matchmaking works right now. You can get auto-filled in a position, so you can have an entire team auto-filled into a positions, and the other team could be all their main positions. So you could have a bunch of subpar people that don't really get to play this position a ton or practice it versus people that's all they play. So they're working on a system that will allow them to be matched. So if one person on one team is in a position that they're not consistent with, then the other team also is guaranteed to have somebody in a position that they're not consistent with. So it's matching people kind of closer to skill level versus an overall, which is something that the community has been asking for literally years. And a lot of, they've actually been doing a lot of other stuff with Runeterra as well, which is their card game. That's still in early beta. It's open beta, but it's in early beta or something like that, which is actually really fun if you're into card games.
I do actually dabble with card games. I really loved, again, with the Witcher shit, is Gwent in that game.
Yep.
Is a really fun, addition to that game. And I love games that have that. I think I've said this before, that have those, little mini card games in them.
Yeah.
Because you can get off track. One of the ones... they just remastered Final Fantasy VIII.
Yep.
And the card game in that is so addicting. I almost want to just pick up Final Fantasy VIII before that, but yeah, I'm not quite there.
Fair enough.
Not quite there.
But yeah, so a lot of really cool things coming from Riot possibly this year.
I think that using that League of Legends success that they've had for so long and kind of branching it out a la Epic Games would be a great idea for them.
For sure.
But final thing on the list, I really wanted to mention this because it just I think that this game really needs some eyes on it, some positive eyes on it, as Star Wars Battlefront 2's latest update adds a slew of new guns. And most importantly, now you can not only play as a dual pistol wielding Imperial soldier, but you can now play as an Ewok soldier with a little bow. And it's amazing. Jack Frags has a video up. I suggest you watch it. It's hilarious.
I actually did see that video on my subscriptions.
Dude, watch it.
Yeah, is it funny?
It's so funny. They're teaming up. There's 3 of them all together, and they're just going around as... Oh, God. It made me want it so bad. I still have the game, and I'm totally going to update it and play it at some point. I already got in contact with my buddy Andrew, and we're gonna hit it.
It's like 120 gigs off of your system space.
Yeah, I have that extended drive now, so I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore.
Fair enough.
Until next gen, when games are like literally fucking 200 gigs to install.
I mean,
I cannot believe Final Fantasy VII is going to be 100 gigs.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah.
100 gigs?
Yeah.
Guys, come on. The game's going to be ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, that's everything we have this week for topics. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Yeah, I mean, we've got GoodeBaker Games, GoodeBaker Memes. We've got the Facebook like page, the GoodeBaker Games on Facebook. We've got our YouTube channel, Spotify. All these revenues. Follow them. Follow them.
Just get in there and honestly, tell your friends. Tell everybody. Tell your mom. Tell your grandma.
Share it.
Yeah. Yeah, we need more grandmas to listen to this podcast.
And if
more
you share
grandmas.
Tag us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, tag us because we want to know who you are so we can shout you out in this said podcast. If you want to hear us say your name, just put it down there. Just know, like, cocksucker 9000 or something. I'll say that now just to get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we love you. Peace.
Peace.